Hello YouTube, sorry for the corny intro. This is my first time doing a video, vlog, blog, whatever you want to call it. I've been thinking about doing one of these for a long time now, basically on other interests that I'm into, but never really gave in. But as of now, with basically if you're looking at the video title up there, you'll pretty much understand why, or down there, just YouTube layout or whatever, you'll pretty much understand why I'm doing this. If you haven't guessed it out, I basically suffer from major or maybe minor, I don't know. I suffer from anxiety. Um, I've been suffering this for quite some time now. I really would say it really picked up the pace back in January 25th of this year. Um, you know, at first I didn't really think it was anxiety. I didn't think that what I was going through was or could be anxiety related. I just didn't make a lot of sense to me. Um, the reason why is because there was just a lot of physical problems that or physical symptoms that I was going through that just really didn't make sense. It didn't really click in the brain to where it would actually be something that just is all basically all mental. So, and now that I've been mostly educated on the issue, I can understand why it would just add on more anxiety. So, um, to put it short, I have been seeing a therapist for past 4 weeks now, and she basically diagnosed me with panic disorder. She didn't say disorder because apparently that's a word that's just too much in for her vocabulary. However, she said that I am going through a panic problem. So, you know, basically, I'm doing this video to, I guess, as a way to do something different, to express my thoughts out to the world, to see how everyone else is going through it. I figured that, there's millions and millions of people in the United States and around the world probably going through the same thing as I am. You know, most of the time we don't understand how it happens. We don't know why. Um, I am not an anxious person. I never really was. I'm not the type of person to keep thoughts into my mind where I would just dread on them for months and weeks, and I was just never that type of person. And I spent the last couple of months figuring out why this has been happening to me. I can tell you for certain that for the past 2 months, ever since January, I thought that one of these days I was just going to drop dead. With the symptoms that I was feeling, um, especially if since I've been going on the web just searching through about these symptoms, and these symptoms I've been experiencing have a definition of many causes, diagnoses, or illnesses, whatever, and you know that just caused me to have more anxiety because I didn't know what the heck was going on. Um, and I'm gonna try my best not to curse. Sometimes I do curse, and if family friends see this, most of my friends already know I curse. Family don't. My family doesn't really know. So if you do hear me curse, think of it as me just getting my anxiety out. To and I apologize if my language or my speaking doesn't seem coherent enough. Just like right there, I get nervous around these videos because I don't really have the mindset to keep up with what I want to say. But just bear with me, and you'll pretty much, get the gist of it. Um, where should I start? Everything I'm about to say is pretty much going through the heart. I don't have any scripts. I'm looking at my computer, but I don't have anything that could remind me. I'm just speaking the way I would just normally speak to my therapist. All right. So where to start? I guess I can start with how this happened. Basically, most of this stuff happened around September of 2013. Or to say a little bit about myself, I graduated college. I'm 26 years old. I was born on February 25th, 1988. I live in central New Jersey by the Jersey Shore. Um, I graduated from K University back in 2011, so almost going on 3 years. My occupation, um, this could be a major reason why I have anxiety. I am currently unemployed as a salary-based job. I really don't have a job right now. I have been searching. I graduated with media and film broadcasting. Actually, matter of fact, I can show you right now. So you guys don't think I'm, BSing, And there's my diploma right there. K University. You see right there. Yeah. Basically, my major was video editing, like I am doing now. Any TV broadcasting. Stuff like that. Radio host, and I guess the reason why I don't really have a successful career as of now is just because could be anxiety related. It could be the reason why I was never the type of person to show myself or express myself on camera or by voice through a group of people, because I always have the fear that I might say something wrong. I'm going to have a lot of backlash. And to be honest, I'm really not the type of person to cope with that, if you will. I guess you can say I can break easily when it comes to emotions with people's words, because sometimes I just don't know sometimes I really don't know what's right or wrong. I mean, really depends on the subject, the situation. And this just really kept me from fully expressing who I am myself and who I am to the world. And with everything that's been going on with the past couple of months, I feel that, if this really helps me get rid of my anxiety, then I'm doing the right thing. I'm not going to worry about if something says something wrong, or, leave a troll comment down there. That's going to happen nonetheless. And, if that gets to you, then you really shouldn't be doing this. And I realize that, that's going to happen in life regardless, because that's how people are in this world. And, you just have to, ignore it the best you can. Just move on and just only care about the people who care about you. And that's something I've really started to learn, even though, considering that I'm 26, I feel like I missed out a lot on life itself. But, life is short, but it's, I have many years to go, and it's never too late. I feel like it's never too late. And I think that's a major problem with, my anxiety. I always feel that it's already too late. People are going to say this or that, and, that just puts more stress onto your mind. And the reason why I'm saying this, because if this is part of my anxiety problem, if this is a reason why I'm going through what I'm going through for these past couple of months, then I'm doing something perfectly right here. So back to what I was saying. Sorry to go about that. I figured that will help me out here. Basically, in September, since 3 years of not really working full time, I have been working a couple of part time jobs here and there. Considering that I am not the most active person, back in September, I was September the 13th, and I think it was a Friday. I remember eating, that week, my dad bought Reese's Cups. It wasn't exactly Reese's Cups, but they were chocolate peanut butter cups that looked like Reese's, shaped like Reese's Cups. And he got it from Costco's. And knowing my bad diet, I was really into them, and I really wanted to have them. I didn't eat all of them, but my diet has not been the best. I think I've ate a lot of processed foods in my years, especially through college. It was very rare that I ate any foods that I cooked myself, especially through these past 3 years when I was done with college. Um, so September the 13th of 2013, I experienced some pain on the left side of my chest, like right, well, not my chest, my side, right here. And it went on through the night, and I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was just muscle cramps. I didn't know if it was anything serious I need to worry about because I've pretty much been much of a healthy person that I never really focused on stuff like that, or never really had any symptoms like that before. The most common symptom that I have is pretty much, getting a fever, and that's something everyone else is pretty much used to. So that kind of went away after a good night's sleep. Then I remember the next night, or 2 days later, I'm not sure, it transferred to the other side. So now, either Saturday or Sunday night, I was experiencing pain on this side. So, and the pain went away again with the good night's sleep, so I didn't really give too much attention to it. So I was going on with my daily task throughout the week. I will say that I was not keeping up with the best sleep schedule during that week. I was going to bed pretty much around 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning. I was pretty much up all night. Basically, if I had a vlog every day of my life, ever since I graduated college, it would be pretty much sitting in front of this computer for more than like 8 hours probably. I would get out. I love to get out every now and then. I have a lot of friends who always want to do stuff with me. You know, especially if I would need to get out of the house for whatever reason, especially get out of this chair. But most of the time, I'm usually sitting in this chair, like, for the past couple of 3 years. Like I said, I've not been the most active person for a long time, and this is basically what I've been doing. I still get paid a lot. I live with my dad, if you haven't noticed. I'm not living in an apartment. I'm living with my dad, stuff like that. So, as the week went on, I remember either Tuesday morning or that Wednesday, I was getting ready to go to sleep after a long day. Usually I wake up around 3 or 2 o'clock. I don't like sleeping past 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I really feel like that's a waste of a day. And to be honest, to be waking up around 1, 2, 3 o'clock anyway, it's pretty much a waste of a day because the normal person in this life usually gets up in the mornings or early morning. But that's just not me at the moment. So I went to sleep, and for some reason, some strange reason, the left side of my body, like right around here, I'm not sure if it's a major nerve, the vagus nerve, or whatever. All I know is I was laying. I have a futon, by the way. That's my bed. It's pretty much a couch or futon. I don't expand it out so it becomes a bed. Just never seemed the reason. I was kind of lazy to pull it out, and not to mention, the middle part of it is really bad on my back, and I noticed I never really have. That's why I never really pull it out. Just leave it like that. You can't really see it because my camera is basically on an IMAX, so I'm not gonna move it right now. All I can remember is this weird shooting pain from this part of my chest that went into my arm that morning. And it only really happened when I was getting ready to go to sleep. It never really happened when I was awake. And it really distressed me a lot because I really thought it was like heart attack symptoms. I thought I was having a heart attack. I really didn't know the signs of it. All I know is like you can just have pain in your left arm and bam, sometimes you're on the floor. I thought that I was going to pass away in my sleep, so I didn't know what was going on. I was really scared. But thankfully, I was able to get some sleep, and that went away as I woke up. So, But at the same time, when it happened, my thoughts redirected to what was happening that past Friday with the pain in my side. Um, I gave some thought about it. I didn't know if it was something very serious or not, but I went on with my day that Wednesday. Then Thursday, I took a nap. This was around 7 o'clock. My dad came home. He brought home some dinner. I ate the dinner, and of course, like most people, once you eat, depending on what food you had, you'll get the itis. Basically, you'll just become your body, um, you know, digests the food and it drains your energy. So I took a nap. Once I took a nap, I woke up about 3 hours later and I felt the same pain, and it wasn't as bad, but it was noticeable. I felt the pain throughout the entire night, and I remember not really getting any sleep that night because I'm a night person. I became a night person then, and I was suffering from insomnia a little bit through that period of time in September. So once I felt the pain, I wasn't really feeling too hot. I was wondering what was going on. The only thing I remember doing is staying up all night, and talked to my dad, and I said I was feeling this pain in my, as he was about to go to work. I told him that I was, feeling this pain on my right side, and I didn't know what was going on. I want to go to my doctor. And luckily for me, my doctor was open at 9 a.m. So as for me staying up, I got an appointment for 9:15, early as I can, and went to go see him. So I went to go see my doctor and told him what was happening, and he gave me a checkup. It was the first checkup I had since 2010. I said, "Is there anything wrong with me?" I told him, "Well, I'm telling you now." And I asked him what was going on, and he just basically said that you're pretty much fine. He didn't see anything completely wrong with me through the fact that I needed emergency attention or anything. So I didn't get it. I was like, I feel this pain, and I feel that you're not telling me exactly what's going on. You're just dismissing me. So, but I didn't really say that to him. I thought about it in my mind, but if he says I'm pretty much a healthy guy, I just believe that. So then on, I just went out and went back home. Got the sleep I could get. I don't know how many hours of sleep I got that afternoon, since I didn't get any that night, but I got some sleep. Then it was on a Saturday. It was a week after I was feeling the pain on my left side. It was a Saturday, and I was getting ready to go to sleep. I wanted to go to sleep early. I went to sleep around 3:30 a.m. in the morning. That's early for me, especially during that time. I remember getting ready to sleep, and for some reason, I cannot breathe correctly. Every time I was getting ready to go into that dream state, when you deep sleep, where you put your head down, close your eyes, and you just think about whatever you want to think about before you sleep. For some reason, my involuntary breathing was not working right. I would feel like if I don't put my thoughts into my breathing, I was not going to be able to breathe during the night. So I feared that I was going to pass away into my sleep that night, because every time I would just try to sleep, then all of a sudden, I would just instantly wake up, because for some reason the muscles in my body, my breathing mechanism was not working correctly. I would have to put thought into my breathing. I would have to pay attention to my breathing. It's not something that, usually when you're breathing, you're breathing. You're not even supposed to put a lot of thought to it, unless you're doing some breathing exercises. But for some reason, it just wasn't working out correctly, and I didn't know what was going on. I felt like I was having panic attacks or anything like that. It wasn't necessarily a panic attack. It was something different, because if my heart was racing, I didn't notice it back then. um, because it wasn't beating hard or fast or anything like that. So that was something that wasn't on my mind. The only thing I knew about, the only thing I figured that what I should be doing is just tell my dad, tell him what's going on, and I was really worried to the point where I went to the emergency room that morning. So I went to the emergency room. I told him what was happening. I believe they checked for my blood pressure, and from what I remember, it was like 157 over maybe 90 something. I don't really remember what it was back then, and it was high. It was very high for me, and that was something I never paid attention to. My blood pressure. I didn't know anything. I didn't have a monitor like I do now. I have a blood pressure monitor that my dad gave me on Christmas. Right here. It's a wrist cuff. So, let me see the glare. Sorry, my camera doesn't really pick it up, but it is an iMac. So, but nonetheless, maybe this will do that. I got that. My father got it for me, for Christmas because of what I've been going through. But yeah, nonetheless, I went to the emergency room. They checked up on me, told them what was going on, and pretty much within 5 hours, I was back home. They didn't give me any prescriptions or anything like that. I don't really remember what they said, but the only thing I noticed about was, my blood work was okay apparently, because nothing was, nothing scared them, nothing alerted them to where I really had a problem. So I didn't understand it again, which pretty much add on to my anxiety and me becoming a hypochondriac. I was wondering, what the hell was going on, because I didn't understand how I'm having this serious problem, and my doctors don't exactly know what's going on, but they apparently say that I'm a healthy guy. I didn't understand it, but nonetheless, at the same time, small amount. They didn't find anything serious, so apparently I was okay. So I went home. Wait, I think the only thing they did prescribe me, I think I remember now, was some sort of allergy medicine or to clear chest congestion, because I was experiencing chest pains that morning, but they didn't find anything wrong with my heart. They just figured that it was just some sort of allergy. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't have any allergies or anything like that. My immune system, at least up until September, was pretty much strong. I've never taken medication really for anything, except for if I get a headache, I'll just take the daily, Tylenol and everything like that, daily aspirin, and not the daily aspirin, but the typical aspirin. I'm not a person who is basically stuck on medication. That's just not me. So I didn't know what was going on. All I know is once I went back home, I got to sleep that I deserve, and felt better. I didn't get a full amount of sleep. Like usually my normal hours of sleep is just like from 6 to 8 hours. That's my normal sleep. I think I got about 4 to 5 hours. So everything was fine that night. I got through the night, and the next day, I was still worrying about what was going on. Oh, something I left out that I should mention. I had a headache too, right here on the left side of my head, right in this specific area. In this area, my head was giving me a lot of pain that morning, because I remember I got a CAT scan as well, and nothing appeared on a CAT scan. So I remember Sunday night, like a day after me going to the emergency room, I took a nap, went to go take a nap, and I remember about an hour into my nap, I woke up instantly. And not because of a dream, but because I felt like I couldn't breathe. I woke up basically not being able to breathe, and that was really scary to me, because I remember dreaming. I don't remember exactly what I was dreaming about, but I can remember specifically that my muscles, again, my involuntary muscles was not working correctly, and I was basically about to thought I was going to pass away in my sleep because I didn't know why I couldn't breathe correctly. I didn't know what was going on. You know, the doctors didn't find anything. I went to the emergency room, apparently to my doctor, and the doctors at the emergency room where I went to Jersey Shore Medical Hospital. If you don't know where that is, by the way, um, I went to the hospital and they didn't see anything wrong with me. So I was worried. I was just anxious. I didn't know what was going on. This is everything that was happening was very new. I didn't think anxiety could be the problem because I didn't expect for that to affect me like that. So I didn't. That really wasn't part of my thought expectations to think about something like that. So I didn't know what was going on, but still, I guess I calmed my mind down. I was able to get and finish my nap. So everything was going on okay. Then I guess the next day, Monday, my dad suggested that I start going out for walks, and I did that. I remember walking on Sunday before, and I walked on Monday. I remember waking up Monday morning with a pain in my chest again. It was like right around here, I believe, right around here, and I had the same headache. I didn't know exactly what was going on, and if you hear my Skype thing going off, that's because someone messaged me, and I'll get back to them later. Um, I went for a walk. I still had the pain, and didn't know what was going on. I went for the walk. I walked for like an hour, came back, still had the pain in my head, especially it felt like blood was rushing highly, throughout my arm, throughout my body, and throughout my head. I didn't know what was going on. There was a lot of pressure pain that I was experiencing, and now I'm here. But what I meant to say was, so I came back home. I remember eating some fruit. I remember getting something to eat. I don't remember exactly what I ate, but it wasn't anything that was processed. I remember eating, I guess, a banana or whatever, getting some water, and I had the urge to throw up. I think at that time, I was nervous about throwing up because I hear that some people, when they're about to have a heart attack, they're about to throw up. They vomit sometimes. That's what I've heard. I'm not sure how exactly true that is. It's just a sign that most people go through, I guess. But back then, I was really, nervous to throw up, and I thought if I threw up, bam, I was going to have a heart attack, and I was going to be on the ground. However, that didn't happen. I threw up, and surprisingly, when I threw up in a trash can that's right down here. My bathroom is outside. Outside my room, that is. I felt better. And I remember being befuddled by it because I didn't understand what the reaction was going on. So I remember when I felt better, I was pretty much going on the right direction. I was like, okay, I kind of feel more better. I was pretty much getting the sleep back that I wanted to. There it goes. Sorry about that. I was pretty much getting the sleep that I wanted to get for the past couple of days. Then that happened on a Monday. Then I remember that Thursday, Wednesday night, after a nap again, I wasn't feeling too hot. I was like, oh great, I was getting through this, I was over this or whatever was going on, and this happened again. So I remember just feeling kind of nauseous, not too hot, well, kind of hot, but not too, perfect for what I would usually go through. It wasn't a normal night for me. And I remember wanting to feel better because that Friday I was going to a concert in New York City. So I was like, I need to feel better for this concert because I need to, be in good shape for it. I wanted to be up front. If something was to happen to me, I was going to be, my dad's going to hear about it in the paper, or it's going to be appeared on Loudwire, some Loudwire.com, that fan dies at a concert, and next thing you know, the band gets blamed for it for whatever reason. But that didn't happen. Obviously. But all I remember is I needed to get the sleep that I needed to, and I remember taking a Z-Quil. And if you don't know what that is, that's basically something that's been released, I guess, the last 2 years by NyQuil, or like DayQuil. It's basically, the other, the other, drug that you would use to like get some sleep. Basically, it was a sleeping aid. It's called Z-Quil with 3 Z's, I believe. I don't have it anymore. I threw that out, and you'll understand why I did. I didn't have a lot of it. I remember taking it for a bit, about like months back, but it was something that I would never take a lot. I would just, it was over the counter, something you could just pick up in the store, and I felt like, why not? It's not going to do anything bad to me, I guess. I remember taking it, and this is where everything really started to happen, and this is where I started to lose my mind. I took it, tried to get some sleep, and the one thing I remember, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if what I'm going to say is what happened, but this is basically what happened. I went to sleep, tried to go to sleep, and I don't know if I was having seizures or what, but all I remember was my head was twitching really bad, to the point where I was moving my head like this. Or every time I would get to some sleep, I would hear a click in my head, and it would just like wake me up. It would do that. And this happened early Thursday morning. I was so nervous. I was so scared. I didn't know what was going on with me. And everything that was happening was basically happening in my sleep. As you can tell, I did a lot of research that week, and I thought I had sleep apnea. I didn't know what I had. I didn't know what was going on. It was just a lot of things that was going on. So, basically, to fast forward, I went to see my doctor that Friday to see what was going on, and again, he says, "You're pretty much a good guy. You're fine." So, that really didn't suit well for me, because you can say I'm healthy, but you're not experiencing what I'm experiencing, and it really doesn't seem like I'm a healthy guy, but apparently I was. So basically, my doctor pretty much said that pretty much it's just your nerves. You're really going through a lot of stuff. Are you going through anything? I'm like, no, I'm not really going through a lot. I'm pretty much a mellow guy. I'm never the type to have anything like that. I'm not really that stressed out. I have been depressed before, but everyone has been depressed, That's just life, everyone gets depressed, I mean, there are people who get more depressed than others, but, like, I've been through depression, and I got out of it, that's just what people go through. But, for me, it was just different, and I told him that I wasn't really going through anything, but I guess he didn't really believe me, because, he figured it was just me being very anxious or me having anxiety attacks, which I didn't know how anxiety attacks could do that, because I was not fully knowledgeable about anxiety back then. But he gave me the medicine. He gave me Xanax, by the way. I'm not gonna show you, but yeah, he gave me Xanax. So I wasn't too pleased with it, because I guess my favorite singer, Jonathan Davis, and yes, my favorite band is Korn, so if you don't like them, I'm going to be expecting some hate comments down there. And yes, this was September 27th when Korn performed in New York City. I went to go see their concert. That was the concert I was talking about. But never mind that. When my doctor basically told me I had to take Xanax just to calm my nerves down, I immediately thought about Jonathan Davis, because basically back in 1998, he had a big anxiety problem, and I thought I was just going to be like that, where I was going to be depressed all day. I was going to be a crazy man, and there was just a lot of stuff going on in my mind. And I know that he still goes through it. And if he watches this video, props, because I learned a lot from you. But, I guess it was different. So it was kind of ironic that I was dealing with anxiety problems. I was going to a concert. And if you're a Corn fan, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But, I took the Xanax, felt fatigue, and basically, just to fast forward, because, it's already 35 minutes into this video, I was really going, basically to fast forward, once I took the Xanax into the middle of next week, I was going back to my full 8 hours sleep. So I ended up taking the Xanax, before I was sleeping, and I would basically get my sleep back. So I was pretty excited about that. And this is starting on October 4th. And ever since then, I've been pretty much, I was starting to go back on the road to recovery. And shut up! I don't know why you're doing that. Ignorant people. But, the one thing I've noticed as I was recovering, as I was getting out, I was going to the gym. I got a gym membership to go to the gym. I have been working out. My diet has changed. I haven't really had any processed foods, or fast foods, I should say, in a long, long time. Basically, September was pretty much the last month since I really got fast food. Because after experimenting, I've noticed that every time I would drink soda, which has never happened before, or I would eat something very salty, which probably is the reason why I'm having this problem in me right now, is because I would remember the same headache that I said I would get it right here. And what happened? I would get a headache after I eat something too salty, or if I drink soda or anything like that, it's too sugary or anything like that. And I was really worried about that. I was concerned because I didn't know why it was happening, and I didn't know, this is something that never happened before, so it confused me. So, to say this, I left this out because I fast forward, because I didn't think it mattered. I got an upper GI done on October the 1st, and I thought I had hiatal hernia, or anything that was wrong with the gastro region. I thought something was wrong here, and I thought I had acid reflux, and I was cleared for that, so it wasn't that. So to move on from that, all I remember is throughout the months of October through January, I was experiencing, I couldn't eat some of the foods I wanted to eat because I would get a headache and I didn't understand it. I didn't know what was going on. My doctor did say stay away from salty foods. I just figured that, this is just the time for me to go on a diet. I've never really figured that you had to be forced on a diet unless you have some sort of physical illness or that your cholesterol was high. And, I never been to a doctor to where, when I got my blood test done in September, the first time I went to the ER, I didn't say that I had high cholesterol or anything like that, so I didn't know what was going on. All I remember is I just had to be careful what I eat because I didn't want to get a headache, and it lasted for a couple of months. And I remember in January, specifically around New Year's, I was eating some foods to where I really had to watch out, because I remember I was starting to get nerve pinches throughout my fingertips, arms, body, legs, feet, anywhere, toes. It doesn't matter where. I would start to get nerve pinches. And I thought for the longest time, basically in January, I thought I had diabetes, which, with me eating a lot of fast foods throughout the years, I thought, it just came up on me and finally just hit me a little bit like a brick, and now I have it. But I don't have it apparently, because because it would have popped up in a recent blood test, which I'm about to explain now. So, but basically throughout January, I was really feeling better. I was getting out, being with my friends and everything like that. I was feeling confident to have a positive 2014. Now, here comes the big one. January 25th, 2014 of this year. I was in New York City. I was at my friend's house. I'm not going to say his name. I was at my friend's house. I was going to hang out there for the night, go back home the next morning. And I remember, I will admit, I had marijuana there. You know, if you don't believe in marijuana, or you think it's bad, that's for another video, another discussion if I ever do that. I didn't have a lot. I'm not a person who smokes marijuana a lot. I smoke hookah. Basically, I have a hookah pipe right here. I smoke that every now and then, but basically like once or twice a week, or whenever I feel like it. Usually it's just like once a week, twice a week, or sometimes not even in a week. It's just whenever I feel like it. And it's when I do smoke it, it's only for an hour session. But I had marijuana there. I had it before and never really, freaked me out or anything like that. So I figured, I would never experience anything like that now. So I remember having marijuana, and I had 4 slices of pizza that night. Now, I haven't had 4 slices of pizza in a long time, ever since I've been going through my new diet or going through what I've been going through. And, I didn't really have any panic attacks then. Everything was looking normal. All I remember, when I ate that 4th slice of pizza within like the hour, I remember the weirdest tingling sensation throughout my back right here. It was really weird. It wasn't too much to where I was like, I felt it could have been, to me, I thought it was like, getting goosebumps, but it was different. It was really different. And I noticed it for a bit, and gave it some thought, but I shook it off, and I was like, I need to get a drink of water. So my friend's house, he basically, where everyone hangs out at when he has company over, it's kind of like in an attic. I had to go downstairs to get a drink of water, came back upstairs to hang out with him. Once I got off those stairs, that's when I had my first panic attack. And when I say panic attack, I'm talking about my heart was racing really, really fast. And I thought I had a heart attack, and I thought I was going to die there. I remember my friends comforting me, saying that if you were really having a heart attack, you would be on the ground by now. I didn't know what to think. I thought that was going to be the last night of my life. I was extremely scared. Extremely scared. And I just remember my friend calming me down, saying that you're not having a heart attack. He didn't say exactly what I was having, but most likely, he would have thought panic attack. And it basically bothers me to now, because that was the scariest moment in my life. I've never experienced such fear than that moment in my life, and I will never, ever forget that night. Especially due to the fact that if I'm educating on, anxiety issues or whatever, it's pretty much good to know, or for people to know exactly what I felt. Heart was racing. I didn't experience any chest pains, no arm pains. I was experiencing shortness of breath because, my heart was racing past probably 180 beats per second. I felt like if I was running really fast, I had to catch my breath. I can remember my chest had gone completely cold. My chest was really cold to the point where I was hyperventilating for a bit. And thankfully, it calmed down, but I was really freaked out for the past 10 minutes. I didn't know exactly what was going on. I didn't know why it was caused. I didn't know why it was happening. Because 2014 was pretty much looking good so far for me. And next thing you know, when that just happened, it just really changed my life. Ever since that night, I have not really been the same. I felt like, maybe a little bit now, that my constant problems is going to be like this for a long time. I feel like I'm never going to get my life back the way I wanted to. That's what I felt like with what I've been going through for the past couple of months. And it's April 3rd right now. The only thing I remember, calm down, and, had them comfort me. And I was glad that I didn't pass away that night. But here are some key things that I remember specifically. I remember going out later on that night, getting something from the store, trying to get that off of my mind, trying to really not pay too much focus on it. Went back to my friend's house, and I remember what happened. I remember going up those stairs. For some reason, when I went up those stairs, he has steep stairs, by the way. When I went up those stairs, I got the panic attack again. It wasn't as bad as the one before, but I remember needing to catch my breath because my heart was beating so fast I had to catch my breath. And of course, I was fine. And I could just remember for the rest of the night, the rest of the day, I had to go up those stairs slowly. It really put a hole through my mind. It really just smacked me in my face really hard. And I didn't know what was going to happen. I was hoping that it would be a temporary thing. I just hoped that it would just be something that happened that night. I didn't know exactly what was going on, and it really scared me. It scares me right now just by talking about it a little bit. Even though, which is something I'll explain later, says that, it's not a life-threatening thing. The only thing, and so that night was completed, and I remember going back home because I had to take the train. It is New York. I took the transit back home. My car was parked in Jersey City. If you know where Jersey City is, it was parked on Grove Street, right by Grove Street, and I got off on the Grove Street train path station to go home. And if you know about the path station, if you know about Grove Street path station, you'll know that it has stairs going up. I remember going up those stairs, exiting the path station, turning that corner right where the Subway is, the Subway, the food place, and I can just remember going through that phase again. My heart was beating. I had another panic attack just by going up those stairs. I had to catch my breath. I was worried I was going to drop dead on that street, but that didn't happen. I caught my breath, and, it went away within, I guess, a minute or so. So, I went back to my car, went home because I was getting ready to go to my friend's house. There was a pay-per-view that I wanted to see that night. It was the Royal Rumble, if people know about it. This is now January the 26th. I went to my friend's house, had another panic attack that night. Thought it was a heart attack. I didn't do any stairs. I didn't do anything that would basically cause my cardiovascular health to accelerate. So I just had another panic attack. And I guess you can say it was me being anxious because I was kind of worried that what if it happens again, and what if it happened, during the pay-per-view time I'm spending with my friends. And I didn't understand it. I thought it was really a heart attack, but then, I called my father that day, and he specifically told me that, if it was a heart attack, you wouldn't just have reoccurring heart attacks like that. You would just have one, and either you would be on the floor in a hospital or 6 feet under, depending on your heart attack status. So, Hearing that made me feel better a little bit, but it just didn't click out well for me, and I just didn't know exactly what was going on. All I can remember is that Monday, I went to sleep after I came back home, and remember waking up an hour later to where my chest was feeling congested, a lot of kind of tightness, and like right around here, my jaw right around here is where I felt a lot of tightness. So I immediately went down to my dad because I basically ended up having another panic attack. But that lasted only like 2 minutes, and as it was, it went down. So I calmed myself, went back to sleep, got to sleep I could get, and I was fine throughout the entire day. The next morning, Tuesday morning, this is on the 28th of January, I got it again after an hour worth of sleep. I got another panic attack to the point where I went downstairs, told my dad I was hyperventilating really bad, and I went to the emergency room again because I ended up having to use a plastic brown bag to help breathe. So I went to the emergency room, did everything that I did before, back in September, that is. Got an EKG. Look, it was normal. I didn't lose oxygen or anything like that. It was normal. Got blood work done. Did everything that they do in the emergency room, and went back home within 5 hours. The only thing they said, basically, that they wanted to check out, I guess, or basically just said, you should just watch out, is that when they did my blood test, they said that I was suffering from low potassium. And basically, if you know what potassium is, it helps a lot of things in your body, and it helps, your muscles, your strength around, the way your body's supposed to work, strength-wise. And when they told me my potassium was low, I figured that's what was the reason why I was getting these panic attacks or heart palpitations. I figured that if I just get my potassium up, it would basically help. So basically, I went to my doctor right after I left the ER. I told him what was going on. Told him exactly what I did Saturday night because I wasn't going to leave anything out because my health was at risk. He didn't say anything about the marijuana. He didn't say anything that, oh, this is a really bad thing, you shouldn't have done that. He was like, don't even worry about it, So he was pretty cool about it, but he didn't even see anything that could cause a major, health risk to me. So that was a really good thing. The only thing he gave me to slow the heart rate down from exceeding 150 beats per second when I had these attacks was metoprolol, if I'm saying it right. This. And if anything, and most of you already know what metoprolol is, it's basically a high blood pressure medicine, which I really don't have high blood pressure. I only have it when you go through these attacks, and that's basically nerve related. But in general, I don't really have high blood pressure. So he gave me these pills that I have to take once a day, just to prevent the heart from exceeding very fast to where I have, when I get these panic attacks. So, ever since I've been taking that, throughout the next couple of weeks, I've been going very slow. I have not moved around a lot. I've been eating a lot of bananas, definitely changing my diet around. And I remember, I guess about a week or two later, I was able to go up the stairs regularly, because I remember me being so anxious about going up the stairs slowly that if I went up there fast, I would have the panic attack again. And I thought that, for some reason, I was having some sort of heart problem to where it would just cause me to, to have this problem, to have the heart palpitations. But, like I said, I went to the ER. They gave me a chest x-ray. They gave me everything that would, that if there was any any indication of any heart disease, heart problems, or any heart emergencies that I was going through, it would have showed up on the blood test. But that wasn't the case. But my mind was thinking elsewhere. However, I was slowly starting to feel better for the next 3 weeks. You know, it was really stressful. I still didn't believe that it was really anxiety that I was going through. I thought it was really something physical. And with me not knowing exactly what it is, it just really did not put a good perspective on my mindset. But I was starting to feel a little bit better that I can at least start to move around quicker. At least feel that I could move around quicker. So, as I was feeling better, I remember 3 weeks later on a Monday, I had Chinese food. And it wasn't like, it was basically the Chinese food that you would get, in America. It had orange chicken with fried rice and an egg roll. I remember when I had that Monday night, and this is when I was starting to start to get off of the my medication, my metoprolol, because I didn't. There was really no reason for me to be taking it, because I really didn't need to use it just to prevent the panic attacks from exceeding a very high heart beat rate. So, heart rate, whatever. So, as I was getting off of it, I wasn't going to take any that day. However, I had the Chinese food, and I could just remember getting a high heart rate. I was basically having another panic attack, which this one lasted 45 minutes. My heart was racing fast, like 140 the entire time. And I took a picture, because this is when I had my blood pressure monitor that also measures the heart rate as well. And I remember taking it, and I'm going to show you a picture of it on my phone of what my blood pressure was and my heart rate during that time, because I felt that this was needed to document, and for educational purpose and for my sake. It was, let's see right there. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Okay, it was 157 over 106 with a heart rate of 145. That was my reading when I was having that panic attack. And don't mind the date. The date is wrong on this blood pressure monitor. I gotta change that whenever I do. But that was the reading, and it pretty much put me back into square one. Pretty much put me back into the beginning of worrying what I was going through. I wanted to go to the emergency room again, but obviously I told myself that it's only been 3 weeks since you've been in the emergency room. You can't really have any severe problems that can just happen just like that within the 3 weeks period of time. Because if something was really there, they would have noticed it, or, basically that's how it works. But, my mind wasn't thinking that. My mind was thinking something else. My mind wanted to go to the emergency room because my mind felt like I was having a physical, chronic problem. So, I calmed myself down that night, and I was still able to move around quickly as I was before. I was still recovering, but I still had the palpitations. And I guess with everyone it's different, but usually your heart is in the middle of your chest, but it goes towards your left. When I felt my pulse, when it beats kind of quickly, excuse me for that, I would feel it right around here, and it would just be a pounding, hard, heavy pounding beat. It wasn't like the beat that you just wouldn't really feel that often. It was just a loud pounding beat. That's how basically my palpitations are and my rapid heart rate is. And not feeling that before ever in my life, it doesn't put a good perspective on my mindset about what's going on with me. Because people were saying, oh, it's just in your head, it's just anxiety. And it just wasn't penetrating the subconscious mind to understand that. It really wasn't. So it was almost like I wanted to prove everyone wrong that I really do have a physical problem, so that if I do, it can be treated and is know exactly what to do, instead of just wondering what it could be and just not doing anything about it. No, there would be no treatment about it, and just let it slide on. And that just didn't work out for me. But of course, that was 6 or 7 weeks ago, from this past Monday. Probably 6, maybe 7, I'm not sure. Ever since then, I've still have the occasional panic attack. But I've really taught my mind that when I have it, to calm myself down. So, as of now, my panic attacks, or my anxiety attacks, or palpitations, however you want to say it, call it, it doesn't really last longer than 2 minutes or a minute. Because I always calm myself down and tell myself that if it was a heart attack, you would basically not be able to breathe. Or your heart will basically not be able to pump. Your heart wouldn't be pumping at all. The fact that your heart is pumping really fast is just telling that it's just trying to pump blood through it. And, it's not a serious issue to where it's life-threatening. But of course, that didn't click in my head. It just really didn't back then. So, I've been to the doctor 3 times since last week, or technically 4 times since yesterday, within the past couple of months. I remember throughout the weeks after the incident with the Chinese food that my chest would feel heavy. It would feel like, there's not enough oxygen going through it. It would feel weak. It would feel tight. I noticed that doing normal activities was getting harder for me. And just moving around, doing the dishes, washing, cleaning myself, proper hygiene. Just trying to do the laundry, picking up stuff, shoveling the snow outside. It was getting harder for me. And I felt like I really had a cardio problem, to where there's something wrong with my heart. That's what I would feel like that was happening right now, or back then. And me being a hypochondriac, not knowing what that is, and basically figuring out what it truly meant back in February, I was going online, aggressively figuring out, typing all these symptoms that I was having. And of course, with the power of the internet, which you all probably know, especially for those who can relate, it likes to bring up the worst possible scenario of what you have. I thought I was having heart failure. I thought I was having angina, or however you pronounce it, where basically you have an impending heart attack coming soon because there's not enough blood pumping through your heart. That's what I thought I had. And there was so much other stuff that I thought that was going through my body that I didn't think I was going to make it through April, and which is April 3rd now, or throughout the end of the year. I didn't think I was going to make it. So I went to the doctor again, my on-call doctor, by the way, because my other doctor, my main doctor, was basically on vacation. And I was like, great, I'm probably going to die, and he's on vacation. I'm like, how am I going to help myself? Again, builds anxiety, which I now know. So I remember going to the doctor, my on-call doctor. She checked me out. She checked me out and gave me an EKG and everything. And she said that, guess what? You're pretty much a healthy guy. I don't think there's anything wrong with you. Now, you know, for us hypochondriacs, when you hear that, you don't really believe it. You want to believe it, but your mind doesn't really believe it. Because it's almost like you want to take these symptoms and you want the other person to feel exactly what you're feeling. Because no matter how hard you explain it, no matter how hard you tell the person what you're going through, they don't know exactly what you're going on, and all they want to tell you is that, oh, it's just in your head. What does that do to you? And it just basically doesn't want to basically work out for you. It doesn't click in your head, because it's like, you want to say to the doctor, it's like, no, you're wrong. Something is wrong with me. Because if nothing was wrong with me, I wouldn't be here. Something is wrong with me. And, you know, of course, what do they tell you? You're probably going through anxiety. And as much as you probably don't want to believe that, especially if you're not really too educated on anxiety and what it can do, you're going to assume that, no, that's not what you have. It's something else. And that's just the power of anxiety. You don't really believe that what you're going through is really happening until it really happens. And because of this, you believe that you have something else, you have something major. But going back to what I was saying, I went to my doctor who came back from vacation 2 days later. 2 days later. And the on-call doctor, because of my heart rate, basically recommended me that I go see a cardiologist. She didn't say anything wrong with me, but just in case, despite the EKG readings being normal, she said, go to a cardiologist. So I went to my doctor and I got a checkup. Oh, she couldn't give me the referral because I needed a referral to see a cardiologist from my main doctor. I couldn't get it from her. So I had to go see my main doctor 2 days later. So got another checkup 2 days later. And just told him what was going on. Told him what was happening. Told him that I felt like for the longest time that the muscles on my left side of my body was weakening, because it feels like I don't have my muscles on this side of my body, especially with my arm feeling a lot of sensations throughout the couple of weeks and months. I thought I was losing muscle mass. I thought like I was losing calcium or something like that. I thought something was going on that is basically causing my muscles to not be as firm on the left side of my body when my right side muscles feel better. And obviously, you know, as I'm making this video, that's not the case, despite what I feel and despite what I think. Because after numerous visits to doctors, especially going to the doctor that day, he basically told me that I'm not even going to recommend you to a cardiologist, because if you really had heart problems, I can sense it. I've treated people who have heart problems, or who have impending heart failures, to where it can be cited just by a daily checkup, and that's how people get recommended to a cardiologist. I'm going to be honest with you. Some of you may agree, whoever watches this video. You might think the doctor is bullshitting, and you might think that the doctor is just saying that just to get you out of his hair, in which I thought, because my family and we don't have a great history with my doctor, but because of how often we visit, we just let it slide, I guess. I guess I'll explain that in another video, because I think I might do this. This might be a weekly thing for me, who knows. But I didn't really believe my doctor. I felt that he was saying these things, saying that I'm healthy, just to get me out of his hair and not deal with me. Because he was seeing me a lot throughout the last couple of months. And I guess if I felt like, I guess I felt like he was just getting tired of seeing me, that he wasn't going to be truthful with what is really going on with me. Which I now know it's very ignorant to think about that, just because of the fact that, if he really did that, he would get sued in a matter of moments, and I don't think he has any lawsuits against him. Nonetheless, at the time I just didn't really believe him, but I guess you could say I was feeling a little bit better as the weeks gone on. And that was back in February, the end of February. That happened on my birthday, by the way. February 25th is my birthday. And I didn't have a good birthday, you can say. I mean, if I fully get rid of this anxiety, I'm going to remember that when I turned 26 years old in 2014, I'm just going to remember, oh yeah, that was the day where I thought I was going to die or lose my mind because of anxiety. But moving on, because this video is kind of long and I have no idea how long this may take to edit. I didn't have any serious effects since then. I have been going to a chiropractor for the past couple of weeks now, for the past month I believe. And I have been going to, because the reason why I'm going to a chiropractor, because I felt that if it's nerve related, which is pretty much is, because that's what anxiety does, I figured that if there is a nerve pinching, that if I go to a chiropractor, it would just relieve some nerves, and I'll be over this. Which honestly has been working pretty well. It's been working pretty well because I have been moving around better and I have been getting out more, but the symptoms are still there. It's still there, but I'm becoming more strong against them. I'm finally realizing that these symptoms are not what I think they are, especially after yesterday, which I'll say in a bit. So I've been going to a chiropractor and my therapist. Funny story, last week basically, because I told my therapist that I thought I was having heart failure. Because I guess like 2 weeks ago today, it was on a Thursday, I was getting ready to go to sleep, and I was massaging the middle part of my chest right here, and I don't know what I hit, because when I was massaging it, I hit something, I pinched something, a nerve. I'm not sure if it's the vagus nerve, I'm not sure what kind of nerve it is. I pinched something, and I felt that sensation of nerve tingling go out through my body. I was like, whoa. And I was basically getting ready to go to sleep, and getting ready to go on with my night, go on my day with afterwards, So when I did that, I basically went onto my phone, my iPhone right here, and just did the thing that I should not have done. And this is why I'm a hypochondriac now, or basically slowly reducing my hypochondria. And it's just me basically Googling the symptoms that I've been experiencing, and I have been directed to a Yahoo.com article, in which it is Yahoo, and the first thing I see, top 10 signs of heart failure, and about 8 of my symptoms that I was going through matched the signs in the article. The tickle in my throat, the loss of appetite, the reduced feeling of not being able to do your daily activities, feeling like you have to cough, I believe palpitations was one of them. I don't remember all the 8 symptoms, all the 8 signs, but all I know is I was going through a similar. My symptoms were very similar to those signs. And I try my best not to believe it because I know for a fact that the internet loves to scare you. TV loves to scare you. The infomercials about how they sell you drugs for you to have, for you to go to your doctor, and for you to pay for, love to scare you. They love to do this. And I fought it, and I went to sleep. However, as this was 2 weeks ago, I woke up around 10 o'clock, and I guess because of that nerve pinching, I guess because of that nerve that I pinched or whatever I did, I felt that I was having irregular heartbeats. Apparently, the muscles on this side, or just in this general area, were spasming to the point where it felt like it was a heartbeat. And the way it was spasming, I mean, it was deeper inside. It wasn't just... see, it's hard to explain. It was just... the nerves that contract the muscles, I guess. I guess it was contracting in a weird way, to the point where it would just feel like a heartbeat. And because of that, I thought my heart was beating in a irregular way, abnormally. And that, again, scared the crap out of me, which drove me into another panic. But of course, when I went into that panic, my heart was beating, it was beating fast, but it wasn't beating irregularly. So it was beating normally in a fast motion. But it still scared me because I didn't know exactly what was going on. And again, I would probably be in a much worse condition if it wasn't for this blood pressure monitor. Because the thing about it, let's see. Basically, since it monitors your heart rate too, and also tells you if you're really having irregular heartbeats, it can sense that, it can detect that. And since it can detect that, I did the test, and of course, nothing, no irregular heartbeats. So, and I did it multiple times. It was normal. So, after consulting with my therapist, she basically said, I know people who have heart failure. I know people who have heart attacks, who have had heart attacks. Her father including. And she told me that with how you look right now, with how you're able to speak for as long as you are now, like I'm speaking for almost an hour and a half, and with how long you're able to keep up with your speech, and how just basically looking at my skin, like if I would really have a heart problem, my skin color would change, and that's a major effect, major symptom of like heart failure or anything like that. If you really have problems with your heart, she told me instantly that she swore on her firstborn son that you do not have heart failure or any impending heart attacks coming to you. Basically, your heart is fine. And she told me, I think you're going to be alright. And I swear, and she said, I quote, I swear on my firstborn child. Nobody has said that to me. Nobody has really explained that they've seen people with heart failure for these past couple of months. Nobody has said that. And with the way she said it, it finally clicked into my head that I don't have any heart problems, despite what I've been feeling. So, I was really feeling a lot better. But still had the anxiety in my subconscious mind to where I guess it like knows that every time I want to battle out of this or find some sort of comfort to know that everything is really right with me. The only thing that is hurting me is just my mind, in which, from what I've heard, anxiety doesn't kill anyone. That's what my therapist told me. And I'm hoping that's the truth. But at the same time, a lot of people go through anxiety and they've gone through it for years. Especially with the videos I've seen on YouTube, there are people who go through panic attacks for about more than 4 hours. And people who have described it much differently than I do. And this past week, I'm skipping forward for a little bit. This past week, I went to my therapist because I thought I was having something again. I didn't know what was going on. I basically went to my therapist, and I told her, oh man, what was I gonna say? Oh man, I just had it in my head, but I clearly forgot. Oh. Basically, in my therapy session, I had a panic attack. It didn't rise to the point where I had a rapid heartbeat. It didn't do any of that, but I had a sensation to where the back of my head did that nerve sensation where it would just tingle all through my head, and it went through my body. And I don't know how that happened. I wasn't too stressed out this past Monday. I guess you can say I was going through some things because in my sleep I wasn't sleeping too well. As guys, you can say that, I was revisiting some things that was happening. Sorry, I had a bounce. Happening back in September. So I was a little stressed out that day, and going into my therapist, I was debating if I should go to my therapist or go to the emergency room because I was having a lot of chest pain, and it was to the point where Monday was going to be my last day, despite her saying that I don't have any heart failure or anything like that, which I believe about the heart failure, but I was really stressed out to the point where stress can give you a heart attack. That has been proven. However, you need years and years of constant stress put onto your heart for you to have a heart attack based on you getting one because you're stressed out. And I thought for some reason I broke that barrier to where it wasn't going to be years. It just took months for me to the point where it was going to happen. So, nonetheless, I drove myself to my therapist somehow. I talked to her and had that panic attack. And I remember having the attack. My heart rate didn't go up, but the sensations were there where if I thought on it too much, I would have had the rapid heartbeat in the attack. The anxiety attack, basically. She told me something that she doesn't really see in a lot of people. She said that you're one of the few people who, when they have a panic attack, you're not showing it. And it really seems like when you do have these attacks, you're extremely calm about it. You're battling it. You know that it's not something that will take your life, because you know that with you going through what you've been going through, you know how to handle it. So ever since then, I've been going through some stuff. Still wasn't feeling too hot, but it feels better, and I can just move around, and my therapist makes me feel better about myself, especially when I leave. But it's like the next day or the next couple of days, I'm back into the same train of thought to where I really have something, or something is going to happen no matter what I tell myself. Um, so this is where today comes up, or yesterday. Yesterday I wasn't feeling too hot. Yesterday I was nauseous. I had a little fever, slightly, but I was sweating basically in my bed. I was getting up. I went to my chiropractor. I asked him, what did he think I should do? And he said, if you have the health insurance and you really feel that you need to go to the emergency room, just go. Just to get it checked out. Because he did tell me that he didn't really see anything that would look like an emergency. But, however, he said, just in case, if you really feel comfortable with going to the emergency room, just go. And that's what I did. So yesterday I went to the emergency room to finally rule out all these chest pains, all this nerve sensations, all this possibility of me having any heart problems. And just like that, within 3 hours, not even for hours, I got in around 4:50. I was out by 6:50 maybe. Possibly, yeah. And everything was normal. My low potassium that I had the last time, which I thought I still had, my potassium is back in the normal state. As a matter of fact, these are my blood results, and I figured this would be good information to show you people, so that this really helps you if you have gotten your blood tested, and or you haven't yet, and you're going through, anxiety disorder. Oh, my therapist basically diagnosed me with a panic problem this past Monday, and anxiety disorder, because of the fact that I keep thinking that something's really bad is going to happen. So she diagnosed me with that, which I'm not happy, but it's better than what I thought it was. So kind of puts my mind at ease, kind of helps train my subconscious thought to get rid of the thoughts I was thinking before. But nonetheless, these are my blood results. If you have the time now, just pause your video so you can get a better reading of what I've been going through. As you can see, everything is normal. Nothing is alerted. I'm surprised with my past eating habits within the past couple of years, and the way I have not been working out. I haven't worked out in a long time. I'm not really an active person, but despite all of this, everything is normal, which really surprised me. You can see right here, there are 3 things that are listed that are, marked that maybe, could be, may alert you, but the doctor never even mentioned anything. My red blood cell count is kind of high, as you can see. This level I never knew that it existed, was above normal, but not enough, but not by a lot, just by 4 points. And my lymph percent is below normal. But one thing I've learned about these levels is that, specifically for these 2, which is why I'm not even worrying about it, is that from what I heard, if I need to get more research on this, if I need to be more educated about this, I will. Don't worry. As long as my white blood cell count is normal, these really shouldn't matter that much to you. It's not really going to be a major thing to where you have to worry too much about it. Basically, these are your main, I guess you can say, something that helps you battle your battle infections, stuff like that. It helps your immune system in some more type of way. However, it's not, despite it being either above normal or below normal, it's not it's not alerting to where it's life threatening. So there's nothing really that you have to worry about, because most of the time these things fluctuate. One thing I do remember now is that if you are really stressed out, if you have a lot of stress on you for whatever reason, which is basically why anxiety does what it does, this can be below normal from what I've learned yesterday. Obviously, I'm going to be doing a lot more learning about this, but if you're under a lot of stress, if you're under stress for whatever reason, this is going to be below normal from what I've heard. So once you're not really too stressed about anything, it's probably going to go back up to where it should be. So that's why it's not. That's why the doctor didn't tell me anything about that. We were just more focused on these right here, and everything seems to be normal. As a matter of fact, this is the second page of my blood results. So, I'm not gonna talk too much about it. So, just pause the video right here if you could. If you can, just research it on your own, which I'm going to do. The only thing I noticed is that after yesterday's emergency room visit, after me getting another chest x-ray, the doctor basically said, your doctor was right about you not even going to see a cardiologist because you really don't have any signs that would cause you to be here or cause you to stay here because you have heart problems. They don't see anything that's wrong with me, and after me explaining that I may have anxiety disorder, they basically told me, yeah, that's pretty much it. And just by talking to my doctor was really nice. No, I mean, not my doctor, but the doctor there at the emergency room. He was really nice and generous. He listened to what I have to say, and he basically said that anxiety is a very powerful thing. Some people just don't realize what it can do to you until it's too late. Some people don't know the power it can hold. It can affect everything in your body. From chest pains, to nerve sensations, to palpitations, to everything. It can really put you in a position to where if you're not educated about any of this, or if you don't know exactly what's going on, it's going to really screw with your mental state. And just by explaining everything that I've been going through to him, just by going through what I went through yesterday, and hearing for the second time in 2 months that you don't have any signs of heart problems or any signs of heart failure, and the fact that you have anxiety problems, that if you're really about to have a heart attack, it will be extremely rare for you to get one, especially if this is all happening recent. And not to mention that I'm young. I'm 26 years old. I've been told from many doctors that I'm too young to even have the problems that I think I would have. So, hearing that really puts a good perspective in my mind. And I believe, and this is one of the reasons why I did this video today, I feel that most of my anxiety is starting to disappear. Not much. I still feel symptoms. I've been feeling symptoms throughout this video. I've been ignoring it. No, I felt a little. Right now, I feel a little pressure here, tightness here, nerve sensations here, my leg and everything. I've been feeling all of that. It wasn't any panic attacks because my heart wasn't racing, but just through going through all these symptoms and going through all these sensations, I now know because of, this and hearing from my doctor, I'm not going through anything that's life-threatening, no matter how badly I think, because the one thing I've noticed, I'm not sure if it's my room or if it's for me being in this house, for me being not active enough, for me not being a vocal person per se. I wouldn't say I'm too quiet, but it's very rare that I speak my mind about something like this, or get something off of my chest. Because, like I said in the beginning of the video, I had many thoughts of me just not doing other things about my life. Like, I have dreadlocks, as you can see. It's maybe a little bit dirty because I gotta get it washed, which I'll pretty much do this week. However, I have dreadlocks. June will be my third year of having them, and I've seen a lot of people on YouTube do dreadlock videos, about their progress. I might start to do one now. I don't know, probably. But the reason why I've always denied myself from doing this, because I've always felt, what if this person says this and I'm totally wrong, and I just get a lot of negative feedback and, stuff like that. And now that I think about it, that's something I've been going through a lot in my life. And it's not really healthy. My life has basically been on a verge of what ifs. And it has made me miss out on a lot of things. I will not be afraid to admit that. With me not being too active in the past 3 years, me missing out on some things here and there, even though I'm 26 years old, I have been very anxious about a lot of things, in which my anxiety rose and prevented me from doing this. I didn't even know that was called anxiety. I probably had anxiety for a long time, but I never noticed it was there because I didn't think it was anxiety, because I've been a pretty mellow person. And this is not to say I'm always depressed about everything that's been going on. No, I will admit this, and some of you will agree as a troll post, unless some of you will have sympathy for me, I don't know. But at this moment, I don't care, because this is helping me. If any of you knew me fully and would actually step into my shoes, or go through exactly what I've been going through throughout my life, I guess you can say most people could not handle it, especially very active people. And like I said, I still get out. I still do what I want to do with friends. I have friends. Whenever we want to hang out, I hang out. But me not being the most active person, especially since I've gotten out of school for the past 3 years, I guess you can say the anxiety, and I guess the foods I've been eating for the longest time, I guess you can say that the anxiety has been building up in me for a long time, and I didn't know about it. Because before September of this last fall, I've been a pretty mellow person. Despite me not doing a lot of things that I should have been doing, I was never depressed. I was never stressed out. I always felt that, in the end, something's going to work out for me, whatever it is. And maybe this is it. Maybe me doing this video, depending on how many people see it, is the start for me to actually start doing things in my life and take my mind off of things that I used to take off of. Because there are people in this world who go through what I'm going through. There are people who go through a lot of things, like anxiety related, being a hypochondriac, not knowing exactly what's going on. And I will say this, I am not the most educated person, I will admit that, and that's pretty much the reason why I've held myself back from a lot of things. Because I've always had the general fear that I'm being told wrong, and I should just shut my mouth. Even though I don't always open my mouth. But when I do, I have the general fear that I would be wrong about certain things. And I'll probably be wrong about certain things now. But the whole thing about it is that most times if you're wrong about something, just get into a discussion about how what you said was wrong, but also learn for yourself how to correct that mistake. I'm not really the type of person to correct my mistakes sometimes, and I'll admit that. And a lot of this stuff I'm admitting now, because if this is really the stress and all the stuff that's really trapped in my subconscious mind that is making my body feel the way it is now, then I'm doing the right thing and getting it off of my chest. You know, maybe this video is only going to help the 10 people that watched it. Who knows? Maybe this 2 hour. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to be standing around for 2 hours watching this video. But I think after this video, I'm gonna be doing 30 seconds of what I've been going through. But maybe this is self therapy for myself. I might get my words mixed up. That happens a lot. This may help me just to speak out. This may help me just to no longer get stuff off of my chest, finally express how you feel. Because I've never been the type of person who has truly expressed my thoughts. And even though it didn't stress me out in my conscious mind, even though I would just be away with it, I'm guessing if this is the case, it's been stored into my subconscious mind. And there's so much negativity in my subconscious mind that it's needing a way to break out. And I guess the way it has to break out is by taking it out on my body, because there's only so much what people can go through, and it's not funny, but it's amazing to me, because I've always questioned how people can drive themselves into this kind of mental state. I've always wondered, how do people do that? And I've always sworn to myself I would never put myself into that position. And look where I am now. And I didn't know how I did that. And now that I realize what I'm going through, and finally learning about anxiety and hypochondria and everything that I'm experiencing, sometimes even though you could be having a pleasant life, depending on how you want to live your life, even though things seems to be going okay, there's something else deep within you that you don't know about, and is going to break free one of these days, and is going to take itself out with your body. And I didn't know that. And with me not knowing that, I guess it added on more stress and more anxiety to my symptoms and what I've been going through. And it's like, I've always worried that it's hard to speak your mind, because you're always afraid of what if somebody gets into your face. I'm not a confrontational person. I'm not. I don't like really getting into confrontations to where I would have to get into somebody's face and yell at them or tell them that they're wrong. I'm not that kind of person. I've never even been into a fight in my life. I've been mad before. There's only a few incidents where I've had to tell people how I feel, but it's not often. I'm not the type of person to get things off my chest instantly. And I don't know if this is the cause to my anxiety. I don't know if me just being in my room all the time and me not doing anything to keep myself busy, or to, just that I don't have the active lifestyle that I once used to have, despite me not being stressed out. I'm guessing this is all contributing to my anxiety and my panic disorder. Even though I'm hoping that no matter what, now, by doing something like this and telling everyone who's watching this video, maybe this is the start to redemption and me not worrying about it anymore. So, as of this moment, I expect a backlash from a lot of people. I can expect some troll posts. I'm not worried about that. I'm going to be immune to that, because I feel that if that gets to you, that's only going to add more problems for yourself. And if I can just become more stronger than, I guess the ignorance of a couple of people, that's only going to make me myself a better person. Because everyone has those type of people that don't like you, or who will judge you on first sight, and just tell you that you don't go, you're not is this and that, and you're just really going through, you're just a crazy person and stuff like that. It's just that if this really helps me, I'm going to do it, and it's helping me now. This is the longest I've talked like this for a long time, and I feel like this is the best way to finally express what I have to get off of my chest. I now know with the medical records that despite me not working out as I should, despite me not, my diet has changed. I stayed away from a lot of processed foods, even though I'm still going through a lot of stuff I'm going through now. But at the same time, changing up my diet and being stressed out for the past couple of months, and being and just being, I guess, not too much an active person, I'm surprised that even with my blood results, I'm pretty much a healthy person. And it makes me fully understand what I'm going through. And it makes me fully understand that what's happening to me is definitely anxiety related. It's definitely anxiety. And if doing something like this, expressing my thoughts to the world, expressing myself how I feel, and maybe this is something I need to do daily. Not necessarily daily, because I'm not the most interesting person. I'm really not. But at the same time, maybe that's could make me even more interesting, because there's a lot of stuff I should want to get off my chest. There's a lot of topics I want to talk about, and I think the main problem these days is that the art of conversation is really declining, because when you want to voice your opinion about something, even though it's not really ignorant, but somebody may not like it, a lot of people just love to judge you, and a lot of people like to attack you based on your opinion, instead of just like, let's just have a conversation about it on why you think this. But no, it's usually not that. It's that people just want to attack you, and I don't even want to know you, because I don't want to get fully into your head to why you have these opinions. I don't want to know exactly why you think about this, and it just makes it harder for people like me. I guess maybe I'm the only one. No, I'm like myself in the world. I don't think there's a lot of people like me. Maybe there is, but I'm just saying it for comfort for you guys, basically. But if there's people like me, most people are just not the type to express how they want to express their feelings, because I guess they're afraid that they might be wrong, and most of the time if they're wrong, people have judgmental feelings about you, and you don't want that. So I'm learning now to not even worry about that, because that's just going to cause further anxiety, especially if you're trying to be, especially when it comes to a career and your job. Like, right now, I'm not worried about my career, because I'm pretty much going back to school, and I think I might want to become an electrician or a plumber, just to make some money, and maybe my video editing skills I learned in college, my post-production, can be done as a freelancing job. So, it doesn't hurt. It's not too late. I'm only 26. A lot of people start their careers when they're in their early 20s, but there are people in their 40s going to college. So it's never too late. And I'm really starting to understand that, I might have passed the deadline on some job applications, but, if you let that get to you, it's just going to make it worse. And I fully believe that there's always despite how crowded this world is getting, there's always an opportunity out there for somebody. And there's always an opportunity out there for you. You just have to find it. It might be hard to find. It might take you a long time to find. But it's out there. And the reason why I'm doing this is because my father told me, and it just really opened my mind a little bit more. He basically told me that since you're going through anxiety, and anxiety attacks people in different ways, you can express what you're going through so that other people who could be going through the same, who are experiencing the same symptoms as you, can learn that if your blood test or anything, your doctors tell you that you're okay, then you are okay. It's just that you're going through anxiety disorder. And the great thing about anxiety disorder and panic disorder is that it can be eliminated. And it puts a better perspective in my mind to know that something like this can be eliminated. That I don't necessarily have to deal with it for the rest of my life. I know some people do that. It just depends on the person. I could go through this for the rest of my life, but at the same time, I know how to battle it. I know how to get it off my chest if it's just me doing a weekly video like this. You know, doing a weekly video like this means that sooner or later I'm going to have people who are going to come watch my videos, keep coming back to my channel, and seeing any updates that I have been doing because people are interested in what I have to say. And it doesn't matter if it's like only like 10, 12, 100 people, 1,000 people, 100,000 people. This could be a start in me getting back into getting my life back. Or it could pretty much put me in a better position to where I never thought I would be in the future. So, I mean, just doing this for 2 hours, I can't believe I actually did this for 2 hours. It's 8 o'clock now, and I started this around 6. And me being able to talk as long as I've talked to before, it's actually kind of mind-blowing to me. Because I've never actually talked this much, ever. I never did. And I thought I never would be able to have the willpower to express my feelings and for as long as I did just now, because every time I tried to, I would fear that I would say something wrong, fear that what I would say that would basically prevent me or prevent people from listening to me, and just have these thoughts about me, which if I found out, I wouldn't live down to myself. I would just keep it in my head and act like it's not bothering me, but you know, I'm doing this because apparently it does bother me. But at the same time, it's also making me stronger, considering that I'm doing this video. So, I guess that's all I have to say for now. This is a long video because it's just something I need to get out. I didn't have a time limit or anything. I just wanted to speak my mind, and I did now. So by saying that, anyone who watches video, anyone who stayed with me throughout these 2 hours, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because you listened. And if you know anyone who's going through anxiety, you know, if you feel that my video sends a lot of good information and could help the next person, feel free to share this video. I could do a weekly video just basically how I've been going through my anxiety, or, you know, basically do other videos, you know, basically on my moments, maybe doing weekly video, not weekly videos, but like, you know, updates on my hair and everything, because that's something I've been doing, wanted to do for a long time, but never had the motivation to do it. You know, maybe this is the start. Maybe this is the start to finally become an active person. I finally do something with my life. So, I want to thank you for watching my video. Thank you for understanding what I'm going through. If you want to have discussions, just type out what you want to say in the comments below. If you want to speak to me privately for whatever reason, I will actually do it. That's how you make friends. So, thanks for watching, and see you next time. Later, people.